Hi everyone, thank you for coming. Are you sensitive? If you are sensitive, you get easily hurt by someone's word or behavior. I'm also very sensitive, so I also had difficulties in dealing with people. Being sensitive has a negative connotation. However, being sensitive means you are more aware of your senses. So today I'm going to tell you a scientific reason why it is good to be sensitive. Hi, my name is Son Hyun-jung. Usually people think being sensitive has something to do with your character or psychology. However, being sensitive has nothing to do with your character, but something to do with your ability to be aware of vibration. Ability to be aware of vibration sounds difficult, doesn't it? The outside world we recognize as reality is a result of interpretation done by our senses. Every human has 5 senses. We see through our eyes. We hear through our ears. We smell through our nose. We taste through our tongue. We feel through our skin. Scientifically, perception means the interpretation of vibration. For instance, human eyes can recognize vibration between 380 to 740 nanometers. We call it visible light. Of course, there are infinite number of vibrations, but we can see only limited range of light. Humans can detect sounds in a frequency range from 20 Hz to 20 kHz. Some species of bats are sensitive to tones as high as 200 kHz. Okay then, why am I sensitive? The reason why you are sensitive is that you have an ability to interpret beyond the range of vibration that most people can sense. But then some would say, but I can see like an eagle, or I can hear as well as a bat. Of course not. We humans have 6th sense, the feeling. We say often, I got the feeling, or I sensed it. Sensitive people have a special ability to sense beyond the range of vibration that normal people can sense. However, their ability is not good as a bat, that they can hear up to 200 kHz, but they can sense more than normal people can sense. So the sensitive people can see or hear more. Instead, they can feel more. They recognize the frequency beyond the range the human senses can interpret. They can't clearly see or hear, but they know there is something more. That something more can be sensed is usually an emotional feeling. They can't clearly see or hear, but they know there is something more. That something more can be sensed is usually an emotional feeling. For instance, the frequency beyond red light we call infrared. However, infrared can be seen but rather felt as warmth. For the very same reason, sensitive people recognize more frequencies than normal people. And they can't see or hear it, but they can feel it. There is something more. As a sensitive person, you might often hear, I don't know, you are just sensitive. For instance, after a conversation, as a sensitive person, you might say, it seems to be something more. That means you sensed there might be something more that the other person didn't clearly say in conversation, but you felt it. So if you say it to the other people, they might talk you down and say, I don't know, you are just sensitive. In fact, being sensitive means you have a very good sensor, better than other people have. The problem of sensitive people is that they can't control their own feelings when they get negative feelings in their mind. Because they are sensitive, they perceive negative feelings more overly negative than normal people. As I said, I have been very sensitive since I was young. So my sensitive feelings hurt me so many times throughout my life. But once I understood what emotion is and how to use it, I could use my feelings and emotions for my advantage and to increase my productivity. Everything has an advantage and disadvantage. For example, you can use a knife to cook tasty food, but you can use the same knife to hurt people. In the same way, you can use your sensitive sensors for your success and happiness, or you can use it for being a slave for your own negative feelings. I hope that you learn what emotions are and how to use them, so you can use your great sensors for your happiness and success. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel if you like it, and share this video with your friends. Have a wonderful week. Thank you.